Hello everyone and welcome to Wilma's first show jumping lesson with me riding her, because we've been filming Vlogmas, so she technically has actually been out a little bit. I don't know when this is going to come out, so I'm not going to say who has ridden her and what she's done, but this is my first jumping lesson on her. We've got Hanny Banani here. We've got a grumpy Peter there.
I'm working.
Say hi, Pete.
Hello.
So we're going to Allens Hill, which is our kind of like local venue. Nice big outdoor arena. And I'm having a lesson with William Blaine, who has been on the channel a little bit. It's like a clinicky lesson, so there's other people in it. So I won't mic him up because that's like super awkward to hear what he's saying about everyone else. But we'll either do a voiceover or we'll just see. But I thought it'd be nice because this is kind of like mine and Wilma's first little thing together. So I thought it'd be good to have it as a vlog and hopefully look back on it and see all the progress we've made. So we'll see you guys when we get there. We're very close.
We'll see you when we're on, won't we? Why is that, Meg?
We're running a little bit late.
We're very late. We've got 9 minutes
but
and we're not there yet.
Really my fault because the cameraman turned up very late.
I turned up at 9 when you were leaving at 9.
It's 8 minutes past 9.
Okay, bye guys.
Before we get going with this, I just want to confirm that we all saw the weird thing Anne was doing with her tongue just then. Whatever floats your boat, babe. Anyway, bit of housekeeping, guys. I'm sorry if you can hear a purring cat in the background of this voiceover, but there's really ain't nothing I can do about it. You can't move a sleeping cat. So we had a little warm up, kind of doing our own thing. William was giving us little pointers as we went around. I was really trying to focus on all of the lessons I've learned whilst filming Vlogmas, to be honest, because I've had great tips from warming up different horses. So you can see I'm like really trying to use my fences to do little circles around. We did warm up over a cross pole, but honestly it's so far away, it's not even worth putting the footage in. So let's go to our first little jumping exercise, which is doing these 2 uprights, and in the middle we circle around this fence. Now I really like this exercise because Wilma can just get like a little bit kind of long and flat sometimes, and we can lose the shoulder and everything. So I found the circle just gave us a little bit more to think about and kind of gave us a bit of time to get her back on her hocks. Also, you know, I am sponsored by circles, so it's great to get them in. So we have our ox there. Wilma was so keen this day, which is really nice. Like, she's just getting keener and keener. I think as she's kind of getting a bit stronger and a bit fitter, she's really loving her jumping. So we repeated the exercise there with the oxer, and then we added on the third element. You can see, you know, we just get a little bit sort of unbalanced on the landing and things like that, but it's all stuff that we can work on. She's got such a beautiful kind of groundwork, and I think, you know, a lot of it is actually I need to just ride her a little bit stronger. Sometimes I think I over baby her, whereas she does actually understand what I mean when I kind of tell her to keep her shoulders in and everything. So potentially I need to actually just stop treating her like a little baby, but you know, she's my darling angel, so it's hard to do. So there, William was just telling me to make sure I keep the power around the turns. He said she's got a lovely kind of rhythm and quite good balance, but we lose the power, which then kind of throws the rhythm and the balance off. So he said if you sort of focus on one thing, make sure you're keeping that power and then like harnessing it in front to try and get her a bit more like a bouncy ball. So rather than like putting loads of leg on and her getting lollopy, I want to put the leg on but then also hold in front, and then hopefully we'll get the rhythm, the power and the balance, which is the holy trifecta. So a little bit of arguing there, and then we come to slightly bigger ox there. One was well up for it. I was really impressed that she wasn't too spooky. I find sometimes these kind of low planks, they don't look like much to us, but when we've got the planks like very close to the floor, it can make the horses really spooky. Like, I've had several horses go to Allens Hill and be really spooky, Bear especially, but I guess that's not really saying much. But I was pleased that, you know, it didn't draw Wilma too much to the bottom of the fence, and she was still being absolutely bold as brass. Again, you can see she's getting so much keener and like actually pulling me into a fence, which I know the kind of head carriage isn't exactly where we want it to be right now, but I just think you can never, you know, never be hard on a young horse that's keen to go to a fence, because it's just so lovely that they actually want to jump and want to get going. The only, well, I say the only, that's not true. One criticism I have of myself now, I've got this kind of keener Wilma, is I feel a little bit like I'm sort of hanging on a bit, and I don't know if that's, I don't know where that's coming from, to be honest, whether it's a kind of nervous thing, or if I'm just, because she's that bit greener, I'm trying to sort of kill the canter and slow her down a bit. But I feel like sometimes I'm looking a little bit tense and like I'm kind of hanging on. So I want to get to the point where I'm sort of softening her, and I guess to do that I need to be soft in myself. So we then, after we'd had like a good play around, we all went out and we came back in individually to jump around the course, which was really good practice for something that's coming up later on my channel. So again, there, you know, we're still getting to know each other. I sort of gave her a half halt to whoa, and she was obviously feeling quite keen, and we had a bit of an overreaction, and then we just had a funny few strides and we had that pole down, but nothing to worry about. Here I quite like how we're sort of travelling. I just need her to, the half halts, to react a little bit quicker and to not come up with her head. So obviously it's all a learning process here, and that is something that I found majority of young horses that I've produced, you know, when you first start jumping them, you need loads of leg because they're not really that short, and then they go through this phase, which is kind of like the bolshy phase, where they sort of think they know it all, they're really enjoying it, and it can be quite hard to harness them. So I'm not at all worried about Wilma being a little bit keen with her head up, because they all go through it, and like I said earlier, it's a good sign if they're keen. So there, we're getting into much better rhythm, much better riding from me, I think. I actually let her travel forward, we didn't have any arguments, and I think that's kind of the way that Wilma wants to be ridden. And also, it's a good habit for me to get into, travelling a little bit more to my fences and not sort of over checking, because we know that I'm guilty of that. So coming to our last line here, got a little bit close, but she was super snappy, got her feet out of the way, and then over the last. So I was really, really chuffed with this round. We obviously had that one pole down early on, but I think considering, she's not done loads and loads of courses, I was absolutely chuffed. She was really sort of keen to try and keep the poles up where she could. She was nice and snappy with her feet. She is actually still very rideable, despite me saying that she's getting a bit strong and she's popping her head up. In the grand scheme of things, she's extremely rideable. So yeah, super excited. It was a really good first training session, and you can see she has got scope to burn. It's kind of coming out more and more. Every time I ride her, I feel like she's really improving. So well done, Wilma. Super, super lesson.
Yay! Happy? Very happy.
You're a legend, and she got a bit more buzz into her, which I like. What a good girl! I'm so pleased with her. Mwah. You seem to enjoy that. That's like the whizziest she's been, which is quite nice. Yeah, and like she wants to jump, doesn't she? Have you got her? Do you want me to? Thank you, my darling. Wilma, you're so clever. And she said I only had 4 faults in the whole time. Thank you, Banani. Yeah, really chuffed. And also, she's quite bold. Like, there was a few jumps where she did a little like, whoop, little looky, but I never felt like she wasn't going. She was like, we're committing to this, Meg, whether you want to or not. I think like the fence I had down, so I was fiddling, and she was just like, now we're going. You did put your head up a bit. Do we need a martingale? Or do I just need to learn to stop pulling you? And then we'll go super fast. Mwah. Oh, thank you, Banani.
You're welcome.
Right, guys, well, seeing as there is, yeah, that's perfect, thanks.
Seems there's loads to edit over the Christmas period, I think we will wrap it up here. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed seeing little Wilma jumping. That was my first ever like proper course on her, which is good. I'll brush her off and give her a little sponge. So live, laugh, love you. Oh, I thought you said do you want to wash her? Right, live, laugh, love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.